It is a topic on in vitro production of secondary plant metabolites. Under this, we will discuss on the definitions of primary and secondary metabolites, examples thereof, different classes of secondary metabolites, the normal functions of secondary metabolites in plants, and various uses of secondary metabolites for the purpose of human welfare. We will also learn different methods of in vitro culture which facilitates the productivity in culture under laboratory conditions, and the use of elicitors for the purpose of expediting the productivity. In vitro production of secondary metabolites. Metabolites are products of metabolism. They may be of two different types. Primary metabolites of plants are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, lipids, and nucleic acids. Whereas secondary metabolites are some minor compounds of low concentrations, of low molecular weight, and non-essential to life, but they contribute to the fitness of plants. The secondary name for some small molecules of low molecular weights was given by scientist Kosal in the year of 1891. They are secondary because they are not that much essential, though they serve some purposes in the plant life. Most interestingly, in the process of synthesis of these two kinds of metabolites, some intermediate products may be common. Though amino acids are mostly known as the product of primary metabolite, they are of secondary metabolite too. Particularly, in many cases, these amino acids are precursors of some secondary metabolites. Again, sterol, which is being considered as the secondary metabolites, are very much indispensable part in many structural framework of a cell. Such commonness of intermediate products is due to the common biochemical pathway shared by primary and secondary metabolism. In this picture, you can see the very commonness in the structure of primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. The secondary metabolites can also behave like the reservoirs of excess carbon and nitrogen elements. And when necessary, these elements can revert back to primary metabolites due to the metabolic disintegration of secondary metabolites. Many factors like development of cell, differentiation of tissue, growth of the organism, and also some external pressures influence the dynamism between these two metabolites and their subtle balance between them. Those secondary metabolites of plants are not being considered as a very essential part of it. They contribute for different purposes, like defense against predators, signaling molecules under different ecological conditions, transportation of metals, symbiosis, and also competition between individual plants as well as between communities. Though secondary metabolites of plants are apparently non-essential for plants, they are of immense importance to men. A variety of such chemicals are being used for different purposes as antibiotics, anti-tumor agents, enzyme inhibitors, immunomodulators, growth promoters, and also as insecticides, pesticides, nutraceuticals, even for ecological interactions as pheromones, like that. Plant kingdom is a vast reservoir of secondary metabolites. So far, more than 21 lakhs of products have been recorded. All these secondary metabolites may be classified depending on their structures, biosynthesis, molecular structure, function, etc., into as much as 5 groups. These groups are: the first one is terpenoids and steroids, the second one is fatty acid derived substances and polyketides, then alkaloids, then non-ribosomal polypeptides, and enzyme cofactors. Terpenoids and steroids both are biosynthesized from isopentenyl diphosphate. Till date, 35,000 terpenoids and steroids have been recorded. There are as much as 12,000 alkaloids. These compounds are biosynthesized from amino acids and are comprised of basic amino group. Fatty acid derived substances and polyketides. For these products, propionyl coenzyme A, acetyl coenzyme A, methyl malonyl coenzyme A have been recorded as the acyl precursors, and there are almost 10,000 such compounds. For non-ribosomal polypeptides, these are the polypeptides which are not synthesized directly from RNA transcription. Rather, they are derived from amino acids by the act of multifunctional enzyme complex. There are some enzyme cofactors which are non-proteinous and low molecular component. You can see here a list of functions done by secondary metabolites within plants. They may act as agent favoring reproduction. They may be responsible for the differentiation in course of growth. They may be involved in the transportation of metals. They may be the very key molecules for communication with other organisms. They may facilitate symbiosis and also may be involved in outwitting other individuals. I mean, to fight with some other individuals by the allelopathic properties. Here is a comparative account of total natural products present in the world and the part contributed by plant kingdom as well as hard plants. Here is a list of secondary metabolites and their respective source plants as well as their biological activities. In vitro production of secondary metabolites. The conventional practice of harvesting secondary metabolites was either to sacrifice the whole plant or collection of some parts of it like leaves, roots, etc. In course of this practice, severe damage to plant resources used to take place. In vitro culture of cell and tissues of plants provides best facility for the production of such metabolites without sacrificing the plants. Moreover, in many cases, the productivity of these metabolites has been noted to be increased manifold in vitro culture. In vitro culture of plants provides a facility to grow plant tissues in ex situ condition within the lab, and also provides a variety of measures in growing either shoots in greater number or roots or undifferentiated mass of tissue as callus, or even isolated cells, separated cells in cell suspension culture. Secondary metabolites may be produced from multiple shoots grown in the culture, or from the roots, especially the hairy roots, or from callus, or from the suspended cells in liquid medium. This picture shows a schematic approach of callus production as well as hairy root production from plant tissues in vitro culture. Generally, for better production and enhanced production of secondary metabolites, selection of right cell lines is being recommended. Such cell lines are selected out of different cell lines growing from cell suspension culture. Selections are generally being made either by visual estimation or by chemical analysis. For example, the pigment secondary metabolites can be identified by their color, like beta-carotene, chiconin, and there are some other chemicals, other metabolites, which may emit fluorescence under UV light, or they may be assayed by radioimmunoassay or fluorescent antibody techniques. Moreover, some resistant lines are selected which may be resistant to toxic compounds, and those cells may lead to be mutated for the overproduction of primary metabolites, which ultimately leads to the overproduction of secondary metabolites. Here are two examples of organ-specific production. For example, saponins are generally produced in the roots in greater amount, as it happens for ginseng or chlorophytum, etc. Two other compounds like hypericin, and hyperforin, which act as antidepressant, are localized in foliar glands of Hypericum perforatum. In Schwerzia cirrhota, the production of secondary metabolites has been found to be more in case of in vitro plantulets in comparison to in vivo plantulets. Accumulation of heavy metals has been found to be more in case of in vitro plants than the in vivo plants, a phenomenon which seems to be very much correlated with the higher production of secondary metabolites. In Rauwolfia serpentina, more productivity has been found from hairy roots which were produced by infection by Agrobacterium rhizogens. Four different basic types of in vitro culture may be there for the purpose of production of secondary metabolites. Depending on the nature of product, site specificity of their production, etc. These four different types are shoot multiplication, callus culture, cell suspension culture, and hairy root culture. Like other in vitro cultural practices, the primary job is to select the right explant and to take all necessary axenic measures to eradicate any propagule of microorganisms. In case of shoot multiplication, generally the direct method is preferred instead of callus-mediated regeneration. Callus-mediated regeneration usually causes genetic difference due to the occurrence of chromosomal and other genetic anomalies. Contrary to that, shoot bud multiplication maintains the genetic clonality of the species. For shoot multiplication, generally shoot tips are chosen as explants and placed on a nutrient medium like basal medium of Murashige Skog or equivalent one, and supplemented with greater concentration of cytokinin, either solely present or in combination with any auxin of a lesser concentration. In case of callus culture, callus may be grown from a variety of explants. Depending on species, different explants may show efficacy in production of callus. Such explants are generally placed on a basal medium supplemented with a higher concentration of auxin. Within auxins, generally 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid and 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxyacetic acid show most promising effect. Once the callus is grown on solid medium, it is subcultured in liquid medium by Schett culture at a standard rotor speed. In liquid medium, the callus grows as well as the secondary metabolites produced within it leach out in the medium. and can be easily retrieved from the liquid medium. Cell suspension culture widens the facility of producing secondary metabolites. The callus grown in liquid medium may be maintained at a greater rotor speed in the shake culture, the speed varying from 80 to 120 rpm. After maintaining the culture in that condition for 7 days, the medium may be strained to get isolated cells in the medium. Through a mesh, the pore size of which is varying from 60 to 100 micron. Thereafter, the collected liquid medium is centrifuged at a speed of 500 to 1000 rpm. The isolated cells settles down in the pellet and the supernatant of clear medium is discarded to get back the isolated cells. Those isolated cells are again suspended in the liquid medium to start the cell suspension culture. Cell suspension culture provides greater facility in the production of secondary metabolites in two ways. Firstly, the loose mass of cells can grow at a greater speed than the callus cells, as the cells individually can uptake nutrients and oxygen from the medium. Secondly, since these cells are isolated and separated, they may grow just like microbes in the bioreactor. So bioreactor may be utilized for growing such plant cells. Isolated cells may be cultured by three different means: free cell suspension culture, or immobilized cell culture, or two-phase system culture. Free cell suspension culture may be carried out in bioreactors of different kinds, like batch bioreactor, continuous bioreactor, multi-stage bioreactor, airlift bioreactor, stirred container bioreactor, etc. In immobilized cell culture, surface immobilized plant cells technique very much effectively can retain cells and allow them to grow at a higher speed and also remaining protected from high liquid shear stresses. Such immobilization or entrapment may be done by the aid of gels of alginate, agar-agar, carrageenan, agarose, etc., or by using polyurethane as foam or nets, or by using cellulose acetate capillaries or silicon polycarbonate capillaries. In case of two-phase system culture, two phases of aqueous system is used to produce secondary metabolites. Here, cells are kept separated from the product inside the bioreactor with the aid of some polymers like dextran, polyethylene glycol, etc. It shows a pictorial flowchart of the production of secondary metabolites right from the plant source through cell suspension culture, bioreactor, and then processing, downstream processing, ultimately in the production of the natural medicine. Hairy root culture. It is done with the infection of plant tissues by Agrobacterium rhizogenes. This bacterium, gram-negative bacterium, that infects plant roots to get food source from the plant. In turn, it causes uncontrolled growth of roots, a very neoplastic condition, even in absence of any plant hormone. So it facilitates the production of hairy roots either from callus culture or from the root culture in the liquid medium, and it is particularly effective for the production of secondary metabolites which are specifically produced in the root itself. Agrobacterium rhizogenes also provides a facility as it can integrate its tDNA with the host genome. tDNA having the transposition ability, it can get integrated with the plant host genome, and if it is genetically engineered with any desirable gene, then that part can also be integrated with the plant genome, and thereby the plant tissues may start synthesizing from that novel gene. In this way, Agrobacterium rhizogenes provides a facility of transgenesis. Here the pictures show how the leaf explants taken from aseptically grown seedlings are gradually transformed to hairy roots. Here is a list of different secondary metabolites with their respective source plants and the method of in vitro culture by which they are being produced. In many cases of in vitro production of secondary metabolites, some elicitors are used to increase the productivity. Elicitors may be biotic or abiotic. These are some molecules or compounds that help extracting the normally leaching chemicals to a greater amount. In fact, they can regulate a number of cellular activities at the biochemical or molecular level by inducing the upregulation of required genes. Some examples of such elicitors are methyl jasmonate, salicylic acid, microbial cell wall extracts like that from yeast extract or chitosan, inorganic salts, heavy metals, and even some physical agents like UV radiation. In most of the cases, methyl jasmonate and salicylic acid are being used for this purpose. In some cases, combination of a couple of elicitors, particularly the physical factors like UV light, temperature regime, pulse electric field, has been shown to be better for the production of secondary metabolites. Such use of elicitors is mostly being done for the cell suspension culture and hairy root culture, but it is not that much effective for shoot multiplication, where the shoot buds are growing in the culture. In case of the production of Taxol from Taxus chinesis and ginsenoside from Panax ginseng, the use of methyl jasmonate, fungal carbohydrates, and yeast extract have been found to be quite effective as elicitors in the process. Jasmonic acid has also been found to be very much effective in enhancing phenolic production from Celastrus paniculatus cell suspension culture. Here the picture shows how the use of elicitor increases the productivity of secondary metabolites. A regime of such products are being produced after the use of elicitor. In many cases, it has been noted that the explants of source plants of a particular secondary metabolite do not respond satisfactorily in the in vitro culture, whereas the genes responsible for the production of secondary metabolites, when transferred to the tissue of another species which responds quite readily in the in vitro culture, the productivity of that particular secondary metabolite gets increased. So in comparison to the original source plants, the transgenic tissues of another plant can produce the same secondary metabolite, however, to a greater extent. An example of this may be cited with transgenic tobacco. The cell lines of transgenic tobacco have been found to be efficient in the production of vincristine and vinblastine. These two medicinally important secondary metabolites are otherwise naturally being synthesized by the tissues of Catharanthus roseus. But in vitro culture, the tissues of Catharanthus roseus are not that much efficient like the transgenic tobacco in producing these two chemicals to a greater extent. These tobacco lines are comprised of the genes required for the production of these two chemicals. In addition to all these efforts, metabolic engineering is also very much in use for the improvement of productivity of a host of secondary metabolites.